What's going on, guys? It's Mighty, and today I'm bringing you my 15 most anticipated games of 2015. Now, I know we are getting close to it being 2015, but I wanted to do a good job on this and put some production into it, so I have some gameplay clips of the games to show while I talk about them, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. These are my 15 games. There are some indie games that I didn't include that I'm really looking forward to, like Hyperlight Drifter and like Super Hot, Below, Inside, but I tried to focus this more on games that more people are going to be looking forward to, more AAA games. There are a few indie games on there, you'll see. And I'm making this including games that say they're coming out in 2015. They don't have to have like a firm release date, but as of now they're slated for 2015. Some of them may get delayed. A lot of them may get delayed. There's no way to really know that stuff, but I didn't want to include games that are just like TBA with no real release date at all. So that's why you won't see like Final Fantasy 15, because they haven't put any kind of release date on there yet. So who knows when that's going to come out. But yeah, I'm sure not everyone will agree with these because it's the internet. Everyone has their own opinions. But let me know what you guys are looking forward to, what games you're excited for, and if you enjoy the video, please leave a like, because I put a lot of hours into this. So enjoy the list. Here we go. Number 15, The Order 1886.
Rebels down.
The Order is honestly a game that I'm kind of nervously excited for. The concept is awesome. It's an alternate Victorian-era setting with werewolves and super crazy advanced weaponry. I mean, the game looks gorgeous, the music's interesting, the weapons are rad, the characters and acting seem to be great, but most of the gameplay we've seen paints the game as kind of a generic third-person cover shooter. And I enjoy those types of games, you know, Uncharted, Gears, etc., but unless this does something drastically different, I'm afraid it'll be kind of a disappointment. But it still makes the list because hopefully they're holding back the coolest gameplay pieces, and the thermite gun is super badass. Number 14, The Tomorrow Children. The Tomorrow Children is such a unique looking game. I'm excited just to see what the hell it ends up being. It's been described as having elements of Minecraft and The Sims, all with a kind of communist slant on it, where everything you do in the game benefits or hurts your randomly generated community. And this game is really run by the players. You know, if someone in your town isn't pulling their weight or is just spending their time trolling people, you'll see how that affects your town. And I love the idea of trying to build a community in a game like this. Everyone has different tasks and you're all working together towards a common goal. The biggest problem for this game is the general awfulness of people on the internet. If most people don't take it seriously, it might end up being frustrating for people like me that, you know, actually care about other human beings. Number 13, Until Dawn.
What did you do?
I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 9, 8,
No.
7.
Please, no.
Sarah.
Until Dawn isn't normally a game that I'd have a huge interest in. I hate horror games because I'm a wuss, and I'm finding myself less and less into the playable movie type of game like Heavy Rain or Telltale's episodic games. But Until Dawn really caught my eye visually at first. I mean, the graphics are super impressive, and they really kind of transport you more into that scary-ass setting. And I'm not sure how heavy the gameplay will really end up being. I mean, so far most of what they've shown are sort of quick-time events, but the fact that the characters in the game can die without you getting a game over is really interesting. It's not something that's never been done before, but it really adds weight and even, you know, more terror to every encounter with that bad guy. Number 12, Rhyme. Rhyme basically looks like a combination of Eco and Zelda, and if you've played both of those games, you know how amazing that combination sounds. The art direction is beautiful. I mean, with it's got a cartoony, painted look, and I love the sweeping vistas in the background. It's being made by Tequila Works, who made the pretty underrated Deadlight on Xbox 360. I think they're a pretty talented studio, clearly with a very artistic vision for this game, and I'm really a sucker for these kind of, modern, artistic puzzle platformers. Number 11, Hellraid. Hellraid really isn't a game on most people's radars, but it totally should be. It's a first-person, dungeon crawly kind of light RPG action game, basically like Skyrim, but way more dark and violent. And if that doesn't sound awesome to you, I don't know what to tell you. I love the look of the magic, and the game has a ton of atmosphere, and you can play in up to 4-player co-op, which has the potential to be super rad. The biggest question mark for me is enemy variety. Almost everything we've seen so far is the same kind of skeleton enemies over and over again, but hopefully they're just holding back stuff that we haven't seen. Number 10, Bloodborne. Bloodborne is probably on a lot of people's lists, but honestly I'm kind of surprised that I'm as excited for this as I am. I never really got into Demon Souls or Dark Souls, they just never really clicked with me. I appreciated them for the grueling combat and depth they had, but I hated the unintuitive menus and sort of lack of any real direction. I'm not sure if Bloodborne will fix any of the interface issues, but the combat seems like a much faster-paced version of Dark Souls, which is exactly what I want. Dodge rolling, sidestepping, the ability to regain some lost health if you time a counterattack correctly. All that stuff, allow not masochistic players like me to get into this kind of genre. And I love the, gothic, Victorian aesthetic. Super violent, super bloody, super dark. Looks awesome. Number 9, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
When you're ready, open your eyes. I think we're making progress in these sessions. You say the flashbacks have stopped. This is excellent.
People got their panties all in a bunch when it was announced that Rise of the Tomb Raider would be a timed exclusive for Xbox One, and I have to say that waiting to play this will really suck, but that's only because the game will probably be awesome. We've barely seen anything of it other than a CG reveal trailer, but if the first game's anything to go by, this should be just as good. Hopefully they keep, this semi-open world, but put a bigger emphasis on the actual tomb raiding parts, since those puzzles were by far the highlight of the first game. And I'd be okay if they lost their gruesome torture porn death animations for Lara as well. Not very tasteful.
They get stuck, like a ship frozen in ice. There's another type of person. You know what happens to them? Miss Croft.
We become who we're meant to be.
Number 8, Dying Light. Dying Light is the closest AAA game that I'm excited for since it comes out at the end of January. I liked Dead Island, but it was really buggy and got kind of boring after like 10 hours of solo play. There were a ton of side missions and weapons to craft, but everything still had that air of doing the same thing over and over. Dying Light hopes to freshen that up with this awesome Mirror's Edge style parkour movement mechanic, and switching up the zombies to where they're really fast and aggressive at night, making everything, that much more dangerous. It's impossible to know if the glitchiness side will be fixed or if, the mission structure will be improved, but Dying Light seems to be like the game to get me back into zombie games, if anything can. And the fact that it comes out soon when, there isn't much to play certainly doesn't hurt its chances.
Jade, I couldn't get to the first airdrop. Razor's men were faster.
Fuck. Okay.
Just run to the second one. If we're lucky, those bastards weren't fast enough to get to it.
Number 7. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I have to be honest and say that I've only really played bits and pieces of the first 2 Witcher games, and that's probably the biggest reason this isn't higher on my list, but the game still looks amazing. I'm knee-deep in Dragon Age Inquisition right now, and by the time I finish that, Witcher 3 will be pretty close, so the timing really couldn't be better. You know, it's really hard to have more than one meaty RPG going at a time, and if Witcher 3 looks like anything, it's a meaty-ass RPG. Visually, it's stunning, you know, but the gameplay is the best looking part. All the missions we've seen so far have been pretty varied. It actually looks like it's fun to ride a horse, something that Dragon Age Inquisition did not get right. And I love the idea of constantly being after these huge monster bosses. It's like Monster Hunter, but not Japanese and weird. And I love how the magic works in the Witcher series, and it looks like they've made the combat a little bit less hardcore. I'm not sure how diehard fans will feel about that, but for me, it's, you know, a much easier barrier to entry since I'm not a veteran of the series. I just hope that the story still makes sense to me when I'm coming in so late.
Something that'll get you your voice back? Guess I gotta make this climb.
Number 6. The Legend of Zelda Wii U. Legend of Zelda. Holy crap. It's like, this game can't possibly be as awesome as it seems like it's going to be. Nintendo just doesn't have the experience making open world games and deep RPGs to pull something like this off, but it really seems like they're going to. Now, we haven't seen a ton of it, and honestly I haven't loved the past few Zelda games, but Nintendo definitely knows how to make a freaking Zelda dungeon, so at least those should be solid. It's the open world part that's the question mark, but if they do manage to pull this off, Zelda could finally be the game that forces me to buy a Wii U. I should probably start saving money. Number 5. Tom Clancy's The Division. After Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed Unity, I have some concerns about The Division, but I'm choosing to remain optimistic. The initial reveal trailer was awesome. I loved the shooting and the co-op mechanics and having this open world and unique loot tied to the game. It was all awesome. I'm mostly worried because Ubisoft tends to follow the same trajectory now, where you travel around unlocking these towers to then unlock all the side content. Watch Dogs, AC Unity, The Crew, even Far Cry 4, a game that I love, they all kind of have that same thing. And if The Division is just more of that, I could definitely see myself getting pretty burnt out. But if the co-op plays well, and the shooting is solid, this game could really be something special. I just hope there's some kind of interesting story tying the whole thing together.
Hold on, I'm getting shot at now.
Yeah, go around the back.
Alright, moving.
Number 4. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Of all the kind of indie games coming out next year, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture really looks the coolest. We just know so little about the game, and that's really exciting for this kind of, ambient exploration kind of game. I just want to jump in and see where the world takes me. I want to know as little about it as possible, and it seems like the developers want to give us as little info as possible, at least so far. So hopefully that keeps up. I don't know if there's really combat in the game or puzzles or what. I just, know that it looks beautiful, and I can't wait to figure out what the hell is going on in that world and what kind of rapture that title's talking about. It looks so interesting. Number 3. Uncharted 4: A Thieves End. Uncharted 4 is basically a lock when it comes to being an awesome game, and that was only proven even more with that 15-minute gameplay demo at the PlayStation Experience. Naughty Dog hasn't made a bad game in a really long time, if ever, and I can't imagine that Uncharted 4 won't be great. You know, I'm counting on witty writing, cool and inventive set-piece action moments, top-of-the-line graphics, beautiful art direction. And, you know, that's a laundry list of high expectations, but I'm confident that Naughty Dog will deliver. You know, I want to see the end of Drake's story, and I really couldn't be happier that it's happening on the PS4. And also, you know, Troy Baker being in the game with Nolan North, that's pretty rad. Number 2. Star Wars Battlefront.
And some of the best technology in the industry.
Star Wars Battlefront was almost my most anticipated game, solely based on me being a gigantic Star Wars nerd and a huge fan of the first 2 games. DICE really seems like the perfect fit to take over the series. I just hope that they ship an actual working game and that EA doesn't rush it out. You know, I'm sure the shooting and the ship mechanics will be top-notch, and I can't wait to get back into that universe. Hopefully they keep those big 32-on-32 battles, because holy crap will that be epic. I just want to fight on Hoth all the time. But please, please, please let the game work when it ships. Please. Number 1. No Man's Sky. Every day I tell myself that No Man's Sky can't possibly live up to the expectations, and every day I get even more excited for it anyway. I love the art direction, I love the soundtrack, I love the sci-fi setting, I love the exploration, I love the procedurally generated environments, and most of all, I love that they're keeping so much of it a secret. Something that made Minecraft so successful was that people discovered things about the game as part of a community, you know, posting in forums about how to make a certain item or how to get to the Nether, you know, this whole other world people hadn't even heard of yet. No Man's Sky seems to be following that model, not giving us any indication of what the story will be, or even if there is a story, not showing us how you mine stuff or what the combat really looks like. I'm sure we'll get glimpses as we get closer to release, but I hope there are plenty of things we don't even know about yet, because that's what really makes this game so exciting. It's completely uncharted territory, not just in a game with a huge universe to explore, but even in the actual game design. No one has ever made a procedurally generated multiplayer game like this. You know, I'm sure that's incredibly nerve-wracking for the developers, trying to figure everything out and living up to the lofty expectations, but if this game comes together, oof. And I say this without hyperbole, but it could be one of the greatest, most influential games of this generation, if not of all time. Let's hope it comes together. So there you go, 15 games I am most looking forward to in 2015. It is quite the list. I'm really excited for a lot of different stuff, and that is the most exciting thing, is we're getting a lot of different kinds of games, because I like to play a lot of different kinds of games. But let me know in the comments below what you think of the list, what games you're looking forward to. I know games that I did include, like Evolve and Arkham Knight, stuff like that, that I'm just kind of on, that I know a lot of other people are really pumped for. But yeah, hopefully there were some games on there that you hadn't really heard about, stuff like Hellraid or Rime or something that you're now more interested in, and 2015 should be a really good year. Hopefully it is, and I guess Dying Light will be the first game on that list to start with. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the list. Again, let me know what games you're looking forward to, and if you did enjoy the video, please leave me a like. Comments are more important though. So thanks guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
We going.